poor countries in this world. Only the people are poor. When people didn't have enough to eat, when people were driven to the edge of desperation, there's billions to be made there, to be carved out and to be taken. The capitalist European and North American powers have carved out and taken the timber, the bauxite. They have taken out of these countries. These countries are not underdeveloped. They're overexploited. They're overexploited. They're overexploited.
Namaste to you and welcome to 99.1 and the 99.5 FM. It is the radio with a difference, and it is time for the Glenn Lal Show, your Friday edition. This evening, Captain Glenn Lal is at the helm of things, and of course, I'll now hand things over to him. Captain, over to you, sir. Good evening.
Good evening. This is your captain speaking. Your flight will be calm and smooth. Just sit back. Relax and enjoy this ride. And in case of an emergency, jump through the window.
There are life jackets. Life jackets are on the receipt.
Yes, tonight is Friday. You don't have to take pressure tablets, or you don't have to get a Malta, just in case you have low blood pressure. I will not give you guys anything to send your pressure up or your pressure down. And don't forget, you're on the Glenn Lal Show, Kaieteur Radio 99.1 and 99.5 FM. Yes, we air this program every Monday, Wednesdays, and Friday at 7:20 p.m. You can also tune in every day at 11 o'clock for a rebroadcast of it. And on Sunday, you can get all three the programs 11 a.m., 4 p.m., and 7 p.m. Namaste to all the listeners.
Namaste, sir.
Peace out. 6 people died yesterday, including a baby. The Ministry of Health said all were unvaccinated. People that died. I appeal to all of you. Uncle and auntie, get your vaccine. It's not going to spare you death if the Creator wants you. But encourage everyone to get it and practice safe distancing. Wear your face mask, it's important. I notice all the discos and bars are being allowed to open up to 10 p.m. I don't know what kind of madness that is.
Yes.
What difference it makes from 10 p.m. if you're going to allow the people to have a good time, mix and meddle, long before they wine and dine together.
Yes.
I really don't know what difference that will make.
I agree.
I see Russia is going on a lockdown again.
Wow.
Because people are dying like fleas. Not only in Russia, but around the world. Please take the vaccine and stay safe. You want to party? You want to drink? You want to have a good time? Sit down on your veranda. Tell your neighbor to come out on their veranda and I hear cheers together.
Yes.
If you want to swap or split bills, make sure your neighbor send over the drink for you, and tomorrow night you can send back for your neighbor and have a good time. That's the best way to live these days. So you stay safe and you're free from this COVID. Guys, leave footprints of love and kindness on each doorstep of your journey. That's a beautiful way to put it, huh?
Yes.
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 Today is a sad day and a happy day for me. I lost 2 friends and a media colleague I have known both friends for over 40 years. They died through COVID. My prayers are with their loved ones, family, and friends. I have grown, Uncle, to understand that life is just a purpose we are fulfilling. And when the Creator calls you back, you have done your work you were sent here to do.
Yes.
The only thing is that you don't know the moment He wants you to come back with Him. I live this life, Uncle, as if today is my last day. And I suggest you live the same way.
Yes.
Especially our leaders. If they understand that they can leave this earth going to bed tonight, you know what a wonderful world this place can be?
Yes, it is.
None of them would be greedy, stingy, scampish, and corrupt. They will ensure that their neighbors, their friends, their families, and all the citizens of this world are happy. But, is the but, Uncle? I felt very happy, too, when I saw a young man, 21 years old, was admitted to the bar yesterday.
Wow.
He is the son of an ex-MP named Ravi Dev. I only hope that this young man uses his skills and abilities, which he was blessed with, to help lift Guyana up so that the citizens can get a better life and are treated with dignity and respect. Congratulations, young man. I always appreciate and love young people when they do great in schools. My daughter came fourth in this country with CXC. And so I understand the feelings of parents when their children do great. Congratulations again, young man. I see now that the thieves are using different methods to conduct their businesses. They're hiring horse cart to go to people's house, load up the people things, and gone with it, like if them own it. 5 of them was captured on a camera on a horse cart, fetching away a man brand new motorcycle in Kitty yesterday. You gotta love these people, Tony. I love this country. Yeah. Gunmen invade DHL building and fetch away 2 safe last night.
Wow.
The people didn't say how much money they lose, but it gotta be a lot. After all, DHL.
Yes.
But like I said, this is Guyana,
This is Guyana.
a peaceful place.
Yes.
I love this country. I played, let's get serious now, man. Crime is serious business.
Yes, it is.
You can't walk the streets in Georgetown safe anymore.
That's true.
Good. Crimes are not being reported these days.
That's true too.
I played a tape, Uncle, on Monday, in which Vice President Jagdeo used a fancy term when he says they're putting together a cradle-to-grave management system to tackle waste matter from the oil. I explain what the waste is about. It's the deadly chemicals and all the pile-up garbage they have out there that will be coming to be buried here on land. the amount of waste they will be bringing in on a weekly basis, uncle, from those oil ships, we might need another Guyana to only deal with that. And the cost to bring that to shore, uncle, will be the same $11 million per boat load per day. Already we are paying $365 million US dollars yearly on those boats alone. And we get in how much? 300-400 million US a year from the isle. When the boats bring in the garbage, it will be another 365 million US dollar yearly, uncle. You see the kind of bills you have coming kicking in?
Yes.
And nobody telling you anything about these things.
Absolutely nothing.
But it's not that, uncle, what caught my eyes. That wasn't the piece that caught my eyes in the news. Is the drive-on scale that Exxon presented to the dump site, Hagwash at Eccles, that caught my attention. During the handover, uncle, to one of we minister, Exxon boss man said that they have conducted a cradle-to-grave waste analysis study, which was approved by government last month. You hear that?
Yes.
The cradle-to-grave study was done by Exxon, which was approved by the government, EPA, last month.
Wow.
The cradle-to-grave words on the analysis and management system came from ExxonMobil and not Vice President Jack Deo when he said, we're going to grapple on to the people. Sorry, I just made a slight mistake. The system came from ExxonMobil, and Jack Deo gone and grapple on to the people them words and say he putting in place a cradle-to-grave waste management system. During the handing over, the poor minister will get my last name, Dharamlal. He said the old scale them had was giving them too much trouble. And he is grateful for a new scale from Exxon. These chaps grateful for a garbage scale, but doesn't know that Guyana oil money will be paying for that scale. These guys doesn't know, they don't know, because ExxonMobil didn't tell them the cost for the garbage scale. But auntie, when Guyana receive your expense bills from the oil company, you may very well see a cost of 10 times the scale they give to Guyana. Just in case you don't know, auntie, every single donation, molation, or whatever lation, Guyana foots the bill through our oil.
That's right.
You see all them cricket you all like looking at, jumping up and praising ExxonMobil for? One of my staff said, thank God for ExxonMobil. If it wasn't for ExxonMobil, we would have never ever see cricket live. Check and see who paying for that. Every cent coming out from our oil, you bright people. Yes, every cent coming out from your oil. I'm just letting you know, nobody gives anything for free in this world. Nobody gives you anything free. Tell those morons that running this land, not even your mother, Not even your father give you anything for free. Don't carry home money and see if she ain't kick you and your plate out on the road. I just want you guys to listen to this. Listen back to his words.
A commitment to cradle-to-grave management of waste. Thirdly, a treatment of wastewater before it's discharged up to an international level. And then fourth, about how we deal with eventualities should there be a spill, to tighten up the obligations of the companies.
You guys heard him. How we deal with the eventualities should there be a spill. To tighten up the obligations of the companies and how he can get the produced water treated before it is discharged in the ocean up to international standards. He just said that. I don't know when he's going to do that. And I don't even want to think about it. Because the ocean water already being contaminated for the last 3 years. So how and when he's going to get that treatment for that produced water then to be discharged in the Atlantic Ocean, I can't answer that question. I did not play this tape to embarrass him, Uncle. I play this tape so you guys can understand your leaders. When they speak, how they come to you. You really think they are people who care about your interests. It is ExxonMobil who has to tell Guyana and the world in writing that they have an obligation to ensure that the waste is properly disposed of. Our leaders can't handle or even take care of a 3-mile traffic to the Demerara Harbor Bridge from Georgetown. Today, I went 2:30 to Providence on the east bank of Demerara for the funeral of one of the friends. Had I gone there with my vehicle, I would not have reached Providence and reached back to do this program from 2:30 to now. This is your country. This is your leaders that is in charge of $1 trillion US dollar business in this world today. Can't even take care or handle a 3-mile traffic. Mr. Jagdeo told the nation recently that the 4th project, the Yellowtail, which I will elaborate later on the same program. He says Guyana will not be affected by the carbon emissions. He said, a matter of fact, Guyana will be decreasing emissions by going gas to shore. But here, Uncle, hear this. Listen carefully what ExxonMobil said in their project document. On the same 4th project, Yellowtail. Yellowtail project will increase the country's overall carbon emissions. Let me repeat what the people say. Yellowtail project will increase the country's overall carbon emissions. That's our lead story tomorrow in the Kaieteur News. Everything come out their mouth. Auntie, y'all please don't take it. Not even with a pinch of salt. They are talking. Or they are taking all Guyana, not me, to our graveyards. Just like the one I came from this afternoon. with their lies, deceit, and corrupt attitude. A young man named Leon Susaran, who used to work as a reporter at the Kaieteur News many years ago, wrote a letter in the newspapers questioning the Dubai trip. He said how it was for friends and family. And in the same breath, he said Kaieteur News used to be reporting objectively. I had to laugh. And now, we only reporting on oil and gas. And he also complained that only the Guyana Chronicle was taken to Dubai and none of the private media houses were invited. Leon Susaran, let me say this. The government reserved the right to walk with their own state media. That happens all over the world. When it comes to the private media, governments just pick and choose who they want to follow them. Ask Joe Biden if he ever invite Fox News to any one of his trips. Nothing stops the private media or private people from going there, Leon, once they foot their own bill. With the Dubai trip, my friend, I fully agree with you. If government pay for the families and friends, then that will be more of a vacation for the leaders rather than a business trip. How much money they spend, you should know by now, Susaran, that government don't tell the people nothing. A matter of fact, Guyana knows nothing where the leaders are concerned. You worked in the media before. As for the Kaieteur News being objective, I always held that word dear to my heart. We try our very best every day to be objective and to report on everything and anything as much as possible. The media in general, my friend, is short of staff every single year. So we can only pick and choose what to report on. And that prerogative, Mr. Susaran, rests with the editors and the owners like myself. What we feel at the time is more important. I would love if you can do some writing from over there, or perhaps help us find some reporters to follow up many stories that has gone unreported. As for the oil, the Kaieteur News is focusing on, as you say, sir, I wish you were a businessman to know the difference between spending as to what you can earn. Government spending a few dollars on a trip here and there is not so important to Glenn Lal, and it should not be for anyone who wants a good life with their resources. Glenn Lal and the few reporters I have will stay on the oil and gas, because that is where the money is that belongs to each and every Guyanese. Glenn Lal will stay focused on that one-sided contract. Glenn Lal will stay focused on recovering the oil blocks which was guaranteed to us by the agreements. Glenn Lal will be looking at the oil expenditures. Glenn Lal will be looking at the cost and sale price of our oil. Glenlal and his team, Mr. Susaran, will still stay on them until we change that 1% no percent royalty that will give the citizens of this country, and you too, my friend, money in your pocket and a great life. And that is being real, objective, and great journalism. Yes, my friend, that is great journalism. Money. Money in your pocket. Every day they're thieving. Every day they're squandering. Every day they on joyride and joy drive. Every day they are spending billions on projects that can be built for half. That is what we have to focus on, Mr. Leon Susaran, my friend. Not the little joy drive and joyride money that they're spending. Today's newspapers, we reported how they are going to spend $85.5 million to renovate, remodel an office in the Marat building. Uncle and auntie, that office got to be lined with gold. And not Glenn saying that. They put out a bid to remodel the Marat office, and the engineer's estimate says $85.5 million it will cost. Guys, Susaran, if I had it my way, I would put some of these engineers in jail. And after they completed the sentence, I'll put them on a boat or in a cage with no paddle out in the middle of the Antarctic Ocean, not the Atlantic Ocean, with what they're doing to you. You peace-loving and simple Guyanese. That's what they're doing to you people. And they're doing to you guys that in your sleep. I wish I could have come on every one of y'all rooftop and shout to the top of my voice, stop sleeping, guys. You're being raped with your clothes on in your sleep by these people, including your bleeders for leaders. $85 million to renovate a little office inside a building. Not the whole building, you know, uncle. A small office. Oh, no, man. Oh, man, I think they're going to line it with diamonds, not gold. Tomorrow, we are carrying a story how the clerks who sit in the public accounts meeting. Listen this carefully. The clerks who sits in the Public Accounts Committee meetings in Parliament cannot go to work, cannot continue work because they are stressed out. You hear that, bro? They are stressed out. I can understand those clerks. They have to put up with that meeting, listening to the committee as they question the heads of the various ministries, state corporations and state agencies and so on, as to the project cost of the various projects that falls under their leadership. That would send anybody sick, not stress. Yes. That 85 million I just talked about, come next year, that may very well have to be one that they will have to discuss to show how the money was spent. This has been going on many years now, uncle and auntie. Year after year. And all the nasty and dirty things that's come out there. Nobody does get knocked off. And both governments does allow it to go on year after year.
Yes.
That is why the clerks sitting there listening to this wholesale thievery of Guyana get stressed out and can't go back to work. Ta-da! Peace out, Guyana. It's Friday. It's Friday. You guys don't read the newspapers to know what goes on, to know what comes out from those meetings. It's sickening to the mind. When I see some of them walking the road, these heads of departments, I just watch them with disdain for what they are allowing to happen to you, the Guyanese people, so peaceful and loving. It's sad, guys. Very, very sad. But let me move on. Let me move to another man named Sherwood Duncan. He complaining how the PPP give one of their supporter one cable license to supply internet service. And again, let me say this. I don't care who gets what. Once is a Guyanese, whether it's Granger, Harmon, Ali, Jagdale or Brassington, hold on to any business that can make money from the oil sector. You hear me? I just don't care. And not only Glenn Lal should be proud and happy, but every Guyanese should also be happy. I talked about this thing already, Sherwood. A French company announced how they want to bring a cable to connect Trinidad, French Guyana, Suriname and Guyana to make money off our oil. So why our own Guyanese should not be put in front of them to make some money from their own oil, Duncan? Or you prefer to have the foreign companies take over everything? You can call me. I called you today. I said last week, don't be surprised that the Chinese oil company out there, Sinok, don't be surprised if they're allowed or apply for cable license too. Because everybody want everything. So what's the big deal with Guyanese getting a cable license? Because he's a PPP? Come on, guys. You can do better than that. Defend and protect your own at all times. First and foremost. Whether he's brown, black or yellow. Whether he's PPP, PNC or KFC supporter. We as Guyanese comes first. Every country looks out for their own people. Why we shouldn't do the same? Huh? Give me a break, Duncan. Don Singh is one of them in the PPP that has cost me all the time for educating the nation with the Kaieteur News and the radio station. Just the other day, he said to me on WhatsApp, "Big man, why you still keep sending me your thing on WhatsApp?" I normally send this program, uncle, to about 4,000 people in my phone contacts. And he's one of them. You know, when you group them, you send to the whole group, and he's in the group. Despite he said that, I still sent him. I would still defend him. I will still stand up and protect every Guyanese, whether they like what I do or whether they don't like what I say. I will fight for them as Guyanese. Don Singh is the one who's partnering with somebody else that got the license. And Sherwood Duncan is saying he's a PPP. Just to let you know that. Once they can benefit from the resources of this country in front of a foreigner, I am happy for them. And I love them too. Congratulations, Don. I will still keep sending this program because you're in the group. If you want, you can exit the group. I have said that on my WhatsApp many times. If you don't like the programs, then exit the group. Let me get to my oil business. Leanne, Susaran, and Sherwood. And listen what I have to say. And jump on board with me here. This is not about one Guyanese. This is a very dangerous development heading our way that can leave 3/4 of the Guyanese population in extreme poverty. Listen carefully. Every oil project Exxon do in this country, they must do and submit a project summary to tell Guyana the good, the bad, the ugly, the indifferent, and most importantly, the truth. What are the things that will affect Guyana? They rushed through Liza 1 and Liza 2 under the coalition. On Liza 3 Payara, they held a wishy-washy public consultation hearing in just a few places. Guys, in this project summary, the document, Guyana get to know the fishing industry would have disappeared and all the rest of the dangers. Is in that project document we know about flaring, produced water, and all the deadly chemicals they will be using. We are already suffering with Liza 1, with the flaring and the produced water, plus the chemicals, causing higher flooding and rising temperature in Guyana with excessive heat. I told you guys when 2 and 3 start, you're going to be living in a furnace. Guyana agreed to take the natural gas from Liza 1, 2, and 3 Sherwood Duncan. When they begin the gas to show project. So now, the 4th well, the Yellowtail, them submit this summary project. Of course, they will repeat everything in 1, 2, and 3. But this one is much more serious. I told you guys before, this one is a grandfather of all evil. This one, uncle, the project document of ExxonMobil say more gas. It will have more gas that Guyana simply don't have market for. You hear me why? This 4th project will have more gas than Guyana have market for.
Extra gas.
Yes. More gas than Guyana can handle.
Yes.
So Exxon telling us they are considering 3 things. Here are the 3 things.
Okay.
If Guyana can't take it, they will consider put it back where it come from.
Okay.
under the ocean floor. Or they're going to flare it. Just like how they're flaring in Lisa 1 and how they're going to flare in 2 and 3. The people say, Uncle, they will re-inject under normal operations. That means they will re-inject only what them need back in the oil basin to push up the oil. The rest will be burnt if Guyana can't take it. And the document is warning Guyana, Mr. Duncan and Mr. Susaran, that Lisa 1, 2 and 3 is enough to supply power to meet the demands of Guyana. They are actually telling Guyana that you do not need more gas to shore if you don't have market for it. You see how they're tricky?
Yes.
So when Guyana fall in a trap in which it can't take itself out, Exxon would clearly say that we have documented that already, and you guys agreed and signed on to it. Yes.
Covering the back.
We didn't just shove it down your throat. We warn you in writing. This is how many countries get trapped, Uncle. Ghana is one country where Jagdeo been to learn the oil sector, and he just come back the other day. I only hope he learned. There's a saying I never forget. Where you been will determine where you go. Where you been will determine where you go. He been to Ghana. And approximately 6 million people out of 31 million people in Ghana living with $2 a day. Ta-da! Where you been will determine where you go. Let me quote Auntie and Uncle. Let me quote what Exxon said in their project document for this 4th project. There is not enough additional demand for Guyana to consume the quantities of associated gas that will be produced from this 4th project.
Wow.
Excuse me, you hear that?
Yes.
Let me read it back, man.
Yes, say it again.
There is not enough additional demand for Guyana to consume the quantities of associated gas that will be produced from this 4th project.
Okay.
Exxon then went on to say how they plan to drill 40 to 67 wells in that area.
Wow.
When I hear them wells, just I feel like just throw up sometimes. That's like 6.7 billion American dollars taken into account. If you take into the account the 155 million US dollar bill we get from CGX for one hole, that is over 10 billion American dollars. Guyana will have to take out from the Isle for drilling, wet hole and dry hole. This project, Auntie, if approved, will have double pumping. Them said they're going to drill, they will be bringing up 250,000 barrels a day. And you will be getting 250,000 barrels of produced water per day with that too. And you will have double flaring as to what is going on now. Guyana would become an oven, uncle, with 1, 2, and 3 flaring alone. If this fourth one is allowed without getting any changes to the contract terms, my gosh, the people of this country will not suffer only financially, but you will be living in an inferno. You would not have to take the dead to the crematorium. You just have to throw the dead in an open field and go back the next day and pick up the ash. That is what Guyana will turn to. Sherwood and Suriname. You want to hear what else the project documents say? This one make a laugh. The fourth project, the grandfather of all the project, can only employ 100 to 140 people. Hear that, Josh?
Yeah.
I wonder if Ashley Singh, the financial guru, was an insurance, a vital toolkit for every home, every business, everybody, every citizens must have. I wonder what he's saying. The same guru was begging last week for the oil companies to hire cane cutters. Well, Mr. Guru, there you have it. Exxon said they can only hire 140 people maximum on this mega project. I don't know where you put them cane cutters and them fishermen. I don't know that. Maybe you're going to beg, you're going to find somewhere else to employ them. Or ask Mr. Ali, Harman, Jagdeo, and Ashti, and Granger, where are these people going to be worked? Oh my. Already, the citizens can't even walk the streets in GT with a plastic bag in their hand. Much as a Nike handbag. Man, uncle, Jagan and Bornam must be turning in their graves to see what is going on. And you know, Mr. Singh and Mr. Jagdeo, what are you hearing from them, uncle?
Nothing.
You're hearing how they're setting up cradle to grave waste management. And there is no insurance, uncle. They have said nothing about full insurance. I love Guyana, man. And I love all of you. I talked Wednesday how Guyana was supposed to get back 45% of the Kaieteur oil block in eight months ago. Not one of your politicians, not one of the leaders said a word or interested in getting back that 45% legally bounded by the contract they signed on to. Just a quick reminder. Suriname received 100 million US for a Little Isle block, which is 1.4 million acre. Plus, they have 20% shares in that block. The total take of that one block alone gives Suriname 62.25%. Just another quick reminder. Guyana's take with ExxonMobil is 11.5%. With 6.6 million acres, not 1.4 million acre Suriname oil block. 6.6 million acre. You got to hear this one, Sherwood. You got to hear this one now, Leon. Just last week again, Suriname received 30.88 million US dollar as signing bonus for another Little Isle block. One little one. That oil block, Suriname get 30.88 million bonus is quarter of that 45% we supposed to get back 8 months ago from the Kaieteur oil block. The size of the little oil block is 552,000 acres. Plus Shorewood. Suriname getting full taxes. And this is the part you need to hear. Suriname don't have to pay for any dry or wet hole they come up with. The oil company drill at their own risks, at their own costs. And them contracts signed with the oil company give Suriname auntie 40% shares in the oil block. My God. This is how business works. This is how business operates. You don't have to pay for no holes. You get all your taxes, plus you make sure you should own not 40% like Suriname, but 50% of the business. That is what Glenlal will settle for. Man, you have to hear what Suriname oil boss had to say. The man said, that is a nice windfall for a country that is having a pretty hard time now. You hear that? Yes. A nice windfall for a country that is having a pretty hard time now. Uncle, the Kaieteur 45% is 1.5 million acres. Is bigger than the size of Suriname block, in which they get 30.8 million signing bonus by 3 times. Our 45% is 3 times bigger than the little oil block ExxonMobil, the oil company give them 30.88 million US for. So just imagine, uncle, if we get back that 45%, how much signing bonus we can get. And now we can call the shots for all the taxes, higher royalties, plus we can demand 50% shares inside the business. We don't have a demand 50, we don't want 50-50 profit sharing. We want 50% shares in the business in the oil block. What you say now, Guyana? I'm waiting for a phone call. Well, let me give you this last one. Yeah, let's move to another oil block, the Kanji. Very important for your ears, uncle. The owners of this oil block give up 20% in 2019. 300,000 acres. A little smaller than the one was Suriname get 30.8 million for. They just give us back in 2019 20% of that block. It is sitting in Guyana's hand. Man, I don't want to confuse you all. Please listen. Every oil block out there have to give up every 4 years half, if they mean fine oil or if they're not working oil on it. So please don't forget that. And don't get confused with the different oil blocks. The portion of the Kanji oil block, I don't know if them sell it out already or give it away to them friends secretly. I don't know. But I do know, if we sell it, we can get a lot of money. just like Suriname, and get all the contract agreement, like owning shares in it too. Where is that 20%, Mr. Jagdeo? And when are we going to start recovering parts of those other oil blocks? Oh my God, I don't know. Oh, when we get back them oil blocks, uncle and auntie, all of your home can get $1 million a week. A week, not a year. Just get them back. Sell them and recoup a better contract deal, better terms and conditions, and you can get $1 million in your house per month, a week. You neighbor have mango trees in a yard, getting big money up front in signing bonus, then bigger money via the contract arrangement, plus shares in the business. Guyana give away ours free, with no signing bonus, no contract, no shares in the business. Now, they have a chance to recover back parts of the mango trees in the yard so they can get signing bonus, get a proper contract, and get shares in the business. And what you hearing? I am not hearing anything. I am hearing absolute silence. Your children eating out of garbage bins. Our brothers and sisters walk around all over this country. You'll see it. Your salaries can't pay your rent and light bill. You have people like Don Singh who tell him, Glenn Lal, don't send these programs to them. Then you got another one, Susaran, writing in the newspaper that Glenn Lal and the Kaieteur News only focusing on oil and gas, and how we should focus on President Ali, family and friends visit to Dubai, and how much they spend. That, my friend, is couscous money. Not seeing the big picture of what is happening with Guyana's future in the oil sector. But like I said, I still love you guys. People calling me from all over the country, inviting me to come and meet with their communities, give a talk, explain to them what is going on in this country. Guys, I don't get enough time to play with my grandchildren running this media business. The same thing I am going to come and talk, I am saying it on the radio so that the whole world can hear. Please get a bell. Find someone in your village. Get a bell and ring it in the village like long ago. And call out everyone. Tell them to listen to the Glenn Lal Show, 99.1 and 99.5 FM. Or tell them listen to the program on Facebook or YouTube. Please do that. I glanced at the newspapers and all the headlines were about President Ali visits to Dubai and what he said. Come and invest in Guyana. We're going to give you all incentives. But President Ali doesn't know that he doesn't have to sell Guyana. The whole world knows that the leaders are a set of morons. And everyone wants to come here. Not to invest here, President Ali, but to come here and see how much they can get. Get out of these poor people's wealth. That's how business operates. Anywhere one can make money, they go. They go, Mr. President. You don't have to go beg them. Ask the financial guru, Ashni Singh. He said those words in when Assyria came from Suriname and set up the insurance company. He tell the Guyanese people, y'all got to do just like what Suriname people doing. Y'all need to spread out in the CARICOM, go overseas to make money, just like how the Surinamis have come here. That moron telling we people for go look money out there, look business out there when everything is here. So we don't have to go beg people, President Ali. Those people will come here and make money. They will get richer. And they will leave our people poorer. Poorer so that they will continue to live out of garbage bins. Oh my God. To make Guyanese lives good, brother, it rests with the oil contracts, the royalties, profit sharing, loan interests, day-to-day expenditure, and so on. The production report and the overall operational costs. That is where you, Mr. President, and Mr. Harmon, and Mr. Jagdeo should be focusing all your energies on. Not to bring people here and partner with us, or bring people here with a $5 million to put on a concrete manufacturing factory. Concrete technology factory can't even buy a few candies for a single nursery school anywhere in Guyana. That $5 million investment from Dubai ain't gonna do anything to us. That is 5 days the supply boats were carry supply to Exxon out there. Mr. Ali, those are the things you gotta slow down and look into. Not $5 million investment coming here. That $5 million coming here is to make money. Watch where you're losing $5 million. In 5 days, you're losing $5 million with them supply boats there. That can benefit the people of this country. And that is business. Don't go bring them here. Do exactly what Suriname leader is doing. Suriname is in no rush. Suriname going dire. Slowly. But they're putting in place every single thing right. Some people ask me, Glenn, what can be done to reverse all this insanity? I told them, your voice, your feet can do it. You have the power to shut this place down and let the world see what a smart and brilliant gurus we have as to what they're doing to us, the people. I am done. Ashni Singh, while in Dubai last week, met with a conglomerate, Mubadala, the company name, the second largest investor in the United Arab Emirates, and tell them that our oil sector, the gold, bauxite, manganese, and other minerals, tourism, hospitality, including expansion of cruise ship facilities, information, communication, and so on, are open to you guys to invest. Uncle, we already got some foreigners here. Oh my, Jin Jin, Min Lin, and all the Lins, Tri Resources, Rusal, Bosai and Dosai, Likins and the Baishanins, and so many others slipping in our country in secret every day through the Foreign Affairs Ministry under Robert Prasad. Ashni Singh telling them to come here. Look what we have here. These are business people, right? And plenty of them are running here under Robert Prasad in secret. Robert, the man who said he never see the owners of the Kaieteur and Kanji oil blocks. Only the lawyers he meet, who sign on behalf of the people that get the oil blocks. And he can't remember the names. Can't remember the last form either, the people from. You hear that, Mr. Duncan and Mr. Susaran? That's what you guys have to focus on. That is the real story of Guyana. And it ain't got nothing bigger than that. Them two oil blocks alone, not the rest, just them two alone, could have had all the donkey cart owners living in luxury, driving big trucks. Them didn't have to go hire, thief man don't have to go hire donkey cart for thief motorcycle under people's houses, Mr. Ashni Singh and Robert Prasad. Ta-da! I have to give you an update on the Pandora Papers out of Panama. The media people uncovered 150 secret accounts being held in the USA alone with people of shady characters. In Latin America, just next door are these. They found 3 present head of state and 11 former presidents have been keeping huge portions of their assets hidden from the public in the British Virgin Islands and Panama. Oh, ho, ho. Chilean president, the man who gave away the country's iron and copper mines. The media found out that he and his childhood friend, he and his childhood friend are the owners of it. And the business in the British Virgin Islands, them own half and half. I can't wait to hear when Chile and its people gonna send him to prison. Uncle, some of the companies that receive the oil blocks register in the same British Virgin Islands, Cayman Islands, Bahamas, and in Gibraltar. I can't wait to see when them names gonna come out in the Pandora or the Panama Papers. A man named Kamal Duki, there in the Panama Papers, in which he ended up owning the full 100 shares in the Kanji Heil Black. The Heil Black. Guyana is listening, and I am so happy. Thank you, guys. Ring the bell. Not the jingle bells. That one is for Christmas. All right? A big man tell me today at the funeral, I love when you say, And another person tell me, he liked to hear when I say, ta-da. O come, Ali faithful, faithful to your people. O come, Ali, come, Ali, come, Ali. Come and behold him, Bharat Kilchedi. Oh, come, let us adore him. Oh, come, let us adore him. Oh, come, let us adore him. Jagdeo the King. The phone call it? Failure. The phone's ringing, I'm here for the phone. Failure is a part of life, my friend. If you don't fail, you don't learn. If you don't learn, you will never change. Gaiwa. I laugh. You get the phone calls? Gaiwa beginning to wake up. Sorry, not Gaiwa, Gau. Beginning to wake up. They put out a statement today complaining how the oil companies replacing locals with foreigners for driving and cleaning jobs. Oh, yes, I wonder where Ashti Singh. Who Ashti Singh and beg? No, because it looked like they can't even get cleaning jobs for the cane cutters. Or maybe, you know what, Josh? The oil company that might give the cane cutters and the fishermen them basket for bring San Fantimeri for the headquarters in Ogle. I love you guys. Have a great weekend. And thanks for listening. May God grant you guys a beautiful weekend. Take a drink for me. I only take coconut water and vodka. Yeah? 1 second. Yes, sir. Good evening.
Good evening, sir.
Yes, good evening.
I want to congratulate Mr. Lal on his song he sang recently. It sung very, very nice, you know. Good
Thank
evening
you.
again. This is Vijay calling from Orlando.
Thank you. Thank you, my friend. Thank you. Your contribution.
You know, politicians are not supposed to get involved in business. Their job is to create the groundwork for people like me and you to invest in. They do not need to go to a country and beg for investors to come to Guyana. Their job is to create the groundwork, create the garden, and when you create the garden, get rid of all the weeds, then the birds and the butterflies and the hummingbees will come on their own.
Lovely. Well said.
You know, those are philosophical thoughts that every person who has a common sense will know. Every farmer in Guyana knows that. Before they plant the seeds, they have to clean the weeds.
Correct.
Ashni Singh and Fita Ramsaroop and Ali, they have a garden of weeds and they throw seeds for mustard to grow. So whenever the mustards grow, they can't know which is grass and which is weed.
I love that, my friend.
Common sense went out the window of Guyana when Guyana became independent. When Guyana became independent, the followers of Jay and Jagan and Barnum said, now we are free to defecate at will, even in front of the State House. Nobody can take us to jail.
Wow.
It just goes to show Suriname has people who are educated that manages that country.
Exactly.
President Santoki invited Ali and Jagdeo. They have learned nothing. A small country like Guyana with a small oil block got over $100 million signing bonus and not a drop of oil has come up as yet.
1 second,
Yes,
1
oil
second,
programs.
1 second, 1
Yeah.
second, 1 second. The oil block that they collect 30.88 million signing bonus for and get that contract signed, not a single drop of oil is found yet. This is not.
I know that. I am aware.
Yes.
I have very close, good friends in Suriname who are engineers, structural engineers, environmental engineers. I'm in contact with them every day. So
Yes.
I know what goes on in Guyana. You see, they have people with common sense. Whereas Guyana got people with fake degrees, fake certificates, and fake thing they create, like this guy who running Gaisuko. They say he brought back country from, he brought back the companies that went down, went under. Up to now, we cannot hear which company he brought back from down under.
Which company?
So,
Which company he ever run?
I don't know. He used to work at the flour company.
Man.
Flour mill.
Man, you gotta get serious. Them guys never run a cake shop. And they can't run a cake shop. And they put him for run guys.
Well, you got Globe Span in New York with Professor Charles Sugrim, and all of them promoting Sing. They say he's such a great guy, and he's doing well in Guyana, producing sugar at $750 a ton and selling it at $350 a ton. That's what you call great economics. I wonder when Dr. Debbie Din of United Kingdom will put the name of Se Singh for the next Nobel Prize. You know he nominated Jagdev for Nobel Prize one time.
I know him well. I'm gonna send him an email and ask him.
Yeah.
Yes, Se Singh. Yes, I know. Se Singh producing sugar at $750 a ton and selling it for $300.
Well, you see, that man deserves a Nobel Prize. He's a new man in mathematics. So the same thing he was doing, and Dr. Debbie Din of United Kingdom Warwick University nominated Jagdev for the Nobel Prize. So I wonder when he going to nominate Se Singh for the Nobel Prize too.
I thank you.
Anyhow, my friend.
Thank you.
Thank you for educating Guyana and the wider world of Guyanese and what is taking place in Guyana. Without you, Guyanese will know nothing what goes on in the oil field. Absolutely nothing. May God give you the strength to continue what you're doing, Glenn. Have a good evening.
Thank you, my dear. Thank you.
All right.
Wow. Well said.
Well said indeed.
You're producing sugar for $750 US a ton. And sell for $300. Man, I'm not ashamed to say this, but I have banned two people from penning letters to this newspaper, and Se Singh is one of them, and the next one is Rickford Bork. If I had continued with those two people in the letter pages of the Kaieteur News, Uncle and Auntie, man, I would have had to sell the building, the company, and even to my private assets to pay liable judgments. That's why I stopped them, And when I heard him announce to run Gaisuku, this $1 billion business, and man, I am like, oh my God, I don't know what to say to you people. Sometimes I can't find words to describe, to tell you guys how I feel, because I know these people who they are. And when I hear them, I'm like, oh my gosh, Guyana is doomed. Every day you listen to some announcements and the things these people say. It's like I sometimes just can't find words to describe it. I just can't find words. Good evening, my friend.
Hello.
Yes, you're live on air.
Good night, Mr. Lal.
Good
How
night.
are you this evening?
Good, great, thanks.
I just want you to know, my friend, whenever I listen to you, I tremble for my country.
I tremble inside of me too, my friend.
Tremble when I know that God is just. All men are created equal. What's going to happen to our nation?
I can only tell you guys what's happening, bro. I wish the Creator inspire in me tonight, so I can tell you guys Monday what will happen. I really don't know.
You know, I keep going back to King Faisal in Saudi Arabia. When he chose Zaki Yamani to become the Minister of Petroleum instead of any one of his brothers or any one of his colleagues. If he didn't do that, Saudi would not have been what they are today in this world with petrodollars. You know? Brother.
Well, you see what happened? These guys don't want experts. These guys don't want qualified people to fill posts and vacancies. They don't want engineers and experts. They want their supporters and their friends and their families to take positions where they have no clue. So you figure the way forward with that. I can't help.
Sir,
I really can't help.
Sir, you know, when I went to the Palestines, the occupied territories, and I saw how those Palestinian people are living on the occupation, you know what's going to happen to my Guyanese brothers and sisters in a couple of years, in a couple of months?
It will definitely pitch in right here. Like I said, the new fairy tale city that our president is proud to say whenever he talk about this new fairy tale city, people that make joke of it. Yes, it's going to be a fairy tale city, but for who? Certainly not for any Guyanese. We might even can't go in there. If you don't put on a suit and a tie, you might not even be you might not even be able to enter the town. But
You know exactly what's going to happen. Like I said to you a couple of weeks ago, between Sherry Street and Marconi, soon you might not be able to drive your car going to that area.
yeah.
You know, and you're going to be priced out because you can't even buy a beer or a hamburger or French fries inside there. The locals won't be able to go in there and have a good evening.
Yeah. Right now,
My friend.
this afternoon, I went to a funeral, and you know who's holding up the traffic? It's the oil sector. The oil industry is holding up the traffic. The foreigners, the truck. Every single hole up here now. It used to take like 4 minutes from my office to my home. Now it takes half an hour. You know, I came out, then went to the burial ground at Eccles, came out from the Eccles with a motorcycle and had to stop to take a photograph of a truck loaded with timber. Man, you got to see these logs size. I'm gonna publish it in the papers. All going to the wharves to be shipped out. What Guyana getting? And those are the kind of long log trucks, sand trucks, that is holding up all the traffics. The road is so small that in many places, when these trucks have to pass, the 2-lane becomes a 1-lane. It is so big, it is so huge,
Big, yeah.
right? With these long lumbers, that you just can't go through with a 2-lane. And if they're driving slow, taking their time, then you have some drivers who just don't want to take the chance to drive past that truck in the lane. So what becomes of the traffic? The entire city holds up with these trucks. And these morons we have.
You know, I hope my Guyanese brothers are listening to what you're saying carefully, and everything that you're saying is very constructive criticism. It's dialogue that we need. We're not here to say, well, this person did this or this person did that. What you're doing on a nightly basis, on Monday and Friday, what you're bringing to the people is so eloquent, you know.
Thank you.
I hope that people understand, like the gentleman that just called you from Canada that just said about the situation in Suriname. I mean, we all these oil blocks and we only have $18 million upfront fee from these guys. 18 million upfront fee for all this oil that we started about 5 years ago.
And they hide it and they dock it. They don't want the Guyanese people know.
And on top of that, my brothers and sisters in this country, I want them to know that they have to take this vaccine like you're saying, right?
Yeah.
We have oil in this country, right? And we have enough money sitting overseas where we could have gotten all vaccines in this country. We don't have 800,000 people in this place, or 900,000 people, you know? We could have been the first country to vaccinate all of our citizens, you know?
My friend,
Yeah. I know what you're going to say.
We could have even vaccinate all the animals, all the birds that fly over Guyana. The amount of money we would have had we gotten just a nice deal. Not a beautiful one, just a nice deal. We would have already got money to vaccinate the entire region to body.
And you raised an issue a couple of weeks ago when you spoke about the quality of the water.
Oh my gosh. Today I received a call from a woman in Canal number 2. She said, Mr. Lal, I have to bring the water to show you what GWI is giving them there. I'm going to get the water. I asked 2 friends to bring me some.
But Mr. Lal,
Yes.
you raising all these issues. You have all these intellectuals in your country. They're bathing with this water. Don't they understand what they're doing to their skin and their family?
Oh, I think you're raising the bar of the citizens of this country too high. Not all of them bathing with this water, and if they do bathe with the water, it's being well filtered, my friend.
Okay, so
Right?
they have home filtrations.
Exactly, the masses of the
ones that are suffering.
is the one that is suffering. Because I have a water system home that uses the same manganese,
Right.
in the water tank, but you buy the whole tank with that amount of filtered, with the right amount of filtered ingredients, and then you change it every 2-3 years. Depends on how the water come out. And sometimes I see the guys backwash it and I see what comes out, right? So I know. So I don't really bathe with the pipe water, but I do.
You said you're bathing with Banks DIH water, right?
Well, to put it like that, yes. So when you say you, so I'm just like you. I'm feeling for the people who can't afford to buy a proper water system to filter their water, and these guys just don't care. They hadn't and I'm still waiting on them to see if they're going. You know, they didn't bring 120 ton. I am told they brought 300 ton. And they advertised for only 120,000 ton. So that's another story I'm going to talk about later. I am watching. And you are listening.
Yeah, we have a situation developing where the minister, I think, told the Chinese guys at the airport they can't do any more work at the airport because they're not stepping up their game. Is that true?
Oh my God, don't go back there. The Chinese, only yesterday we carried that story. The Chinese asking for 2022 now.
Right.
For change couple things, sheet at the airport, change the window and some glass doors. Them take 11 years now and asking for another year. It's a milking cow, my friend. It's a milking cow.
Well, you know,
It's a milking
my
cow.
friend, I just want to congratulate you from the depth of my heart and from my family's hearts. and all my friends in foreign countries, you have done an excellent job. I wish that we had this dialogue about 30, 40 years ago. It would have really saved this country from destruction because our infrastructures are not working. Nothing works in that country. And it's the country that I love. You know, it's a country that I would die for. You understand, my friend? But when I see these injustices handed out to the masses, you know, I went abroad to seek refuge because of economic reasons, right? I'm not coming back to Guyana to seek refuge. You understand what I'm saying?
Exactly.
I'm not doing that. I've already done that. I'm 67 years old. How much more can I do? You know, so when I hear you eloquently speaking about these subjects, not being critical of the governments, you're speaking about things that's affecting the masses and the population in your country.
I hear you,
right?
brother.
Why aren't people waking up and understand what they have to demand? You know?
I think that next step, it will happen. It will happen. I am feeling it.
Sir.
I am feeling it.
Sir, you see what's going on in Lebanon. Right? You see what's going on in Haiti.
I see.
Right? You see what's going on in Bolivia. You see what's going on in Venezuela.
Yep.
Right? You see what's going on in Yemen. See what's going on. You speak about Africa so eloquently. You look at the continent of Africa that have all the riches, everything you could think about, and nothing works. Why? We cannot allow Guyana to fall backwards. These are the things you're talking about.
Yep.
You're
Corrupt.
talking about, yeah.
Corrupt, incompetent leaders.
You know, the guy that just called before, he spoke about the educated people in Suriname that they're using, you know, as a medium to speak to the international agencies, you know, and get things done. You know,
The same Suriname president came here,
Sankoki.
Santoki, and Jagdev and the whole team went away to go in Texas, to tell Guyana from Texas, well, don't expect big money. Only $300-400 million a year. And you have to live with that for quite a while into the future. Those were his words.
I have a question for you.
Yes, go
I have a
ahead.
question for you, sir. That money that we have sitting at the Federal Reserve Bank or the bank overseas, all that oil money, is that money being invested in the world market on a day-to-day basis?
That's a beautiful question you asked me there. But I don't speak much on that money. Some people ask me about that money. That's just a couple $100 million. That's couscous money, my friend. That's couscous money. We should not be even talking about that. But it's a nice question, but I don't know, and nobody answering that question because hold.
The reason, sir, the reason why I'm asking you that question, because do we have any meters recording how many barrels of oil is going out there every day?
Oh man, I gotta go to a university to answer that question. They say, I could only say what they say. They have installed a meter, and they have inspectors looking at it. That is what they say, bro. I don't know any more of that. But to go back onto the NRF fund, the $300-400 million we have in there. That money, I don't know what fees I don't know if we are getting interest. That's one. Or I don't know, or I don't know if we are paying a fees to them to hold that money. What I do know, and what I've said, the $300-400 million you have there, you don't have to go borrow money from China Exim Bank, or from the Indian government, or from
you have enough liquidity there.
Take the money, you want to build a bridge, build it.
Right.
You take that money, reinvest it in the oil company so it can make interest.
Right.
Instead of Exxon borrow the bank money and making interest on Guyana, take it and throw it there. Take it and buy some helicopters. Take it and put some supply boats and make $55,000 a day. on each boat. That 400 million US can pick up couple well boats. So make some money with it. You have it in a bank there, and I'm certain, I don't know, I'm asking this question and nobody answering. I am asking for the interest rate and nobody answering, bro. We are asking for the production report and we are not getting it. We are asking for the financials of the business and we are not getting it. As a matter of fact, I try, the only thing you can get from ExxonMobil, and I spoke about it Wednesday night, they earn, their page is showing that they earn 67 billion. Their earnings is 67 billion. Revenue and earnings. How much of that come out of Guyana or where it came from, nobody knows. Right? They're not telling you how much, but I want to believe all actually come from Guyana.
Well, this is why I asked you about the meeting. Because if you're saying you have $6.7 billion in earnings already.
No. 67 billion in revenue and earnings.
From Guyana?
No, not from Guyana. They didn't say from where.
Okay.
I am just saying, I have been trying to look to see where the revenue came from, right?
I got you.
And they're not saying ExxonMobil.
Yeah, well,
It's on their website, man. Just Google it.
No, you can find that on Bloomberg.
Yeah.
That's published information. You go on Bloomberg and find that.
Well, what you should do, I gotta close now. What you should do, try to get that information for me, and you can call me back. All right?
Well, sir, I want to thank you for taking my call.
Thank you.
Continue the great work and give my regards to the people at KKK News. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Have a good night. Thank you. And Guyana, it was more than a pleasure sitting as your captain here tonight. I'm about to land. So buckle up, bring your chair back up, and goodbye. God bless you all.